I mean, the Bears was an 8-9 team last year, I believe, and 7-10. Sorry, and you know that's pretty good for a team that has the first pick. And they got a good defense. They got good players on offense, and you know it's pretty exciting. You know, if you could go into a situation like that.
You ever had that one friend that just lies too much? Like, why are you lying for? Like, for real? Why are you lying for? They lie.
Can draft me. There's only one of me, and so the team
jumping up and laying in the arms of family there.
Yeah, tough night.
Trying to start a little better this week as it is intercepted right down the middle of the defense. It's Watts, Xavier Watts with
the 21. Williams wants to run it, bouncing around, now reverses. And Williams in trouble, and he's ambushed.
But that was pass interference.
Around his own end zone. Finally guns it and intercepted. Baylor's got it.
I'm seeing an enormous amount of pain, and as I watch him, you know, you can tell that he's a defeated guy. I mentioned that he hasn't been through anything like this at any point in his career, and what you worry about is a rookie quarterback losing confidence.
Stats, as long as you
yeah, don't care about stats. I feel great. I'll be honest with you, I feel great.
I gotta talk about the Chicago Bears and this Caleb Williams situation, yo. It's getting a little uncomfortable for a lot of Chicago Bears fans. So recently it's been coming out saying that Caleb Williams never wanted to go to the Chicago Bears, you know, early in his draft process. Even his father had concerns about him playing for the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams said he wanted to go to the Minnesota Vikings, who ended up drafting another quarterback in J.J. McCarthy with the 11th or 10th pick. I can't remember which pick they used to draft J.J., but he missed the entire season last year, and he's going to play his first year this year, so we'll see how he does. But yeah, man, so a lot of blame to go around. Like, people are pointing the finger at Caleb Williams and saying that he's a diva, he's entitled and all this other stuff. But yes and no, I'm kind of, you know, 50-50 on it. Me personally, I feel as though if you're a player getting drafted into the NFL, I feel like you should just embrace whatever city decides to draft you. You know, but on the other hand, I do understand that the Chicago Bears have been a very, very dysfunctional organization for a long time now. You know, they've never really had like a true like star quarterback for real. Like, if you guys want me to be honest with you, for real, like, what quarterback will you remember 5, 10, 15 years from now when you know, when it's all said and done for the Chicago Bears? Like Jay Cutler. Like, they had Jay Cutler. I can't remember anybody else besides him, honestly, you know. So the Chicago Bears have a history of being a dysfunctional franchise, and for any young player, I'm pretty sure they would be a little concerned about that, especially if they know the NFL inside and out. And a lot of these kids nowadays, they're getting NIL deals. So the NFL is not really, nobody's really rushing to go to the NFL right now. You know what I'm saying? If you can stay in college and make $6 million a year, why wouldn't you do that? You know? But I say that to say this, man. I don't necessarily blame the Caleb Williams and his dad as much as I blame the Chicago Bears, because, look, okay, we seen this happen before with Eli Manning, you know.
For wanting to go to New York, there was just, I didn't want to go to one place. I won't say the place, and I don't want to bring up old stories, but there was one place I didn't want to go to, and that was it.
The Chargers had the #1 overall pick. They were anticipating drafting and signing Mississippi quarterback Eli Manning.
Right off the top, Eli, why don't you want to play for the Chargers?
You know, we're not really giving details right now. We just, we've made our decision, and that's what we're sticking to.
Would you be happy if the Chargers end up picking him on Saturday?
No.
Years ago, when Eli was coming out of the draft, he did not want to go to the San Diego Chargers because he didn't trust their front office, and he felt as though they were a dysfunctional team. So he made it clear that he didn't want to play for them, and then they traded him. They traded him to the New York Giants, okay? And the rest was history. So what the Chicago Bears should have done, okay, They should have just not drafted Caleb Williams, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. He had 20 touchdowns this season, and he literally broke every Chicago Bears record. You know what I mean? With 3,000 some passing yards, 20 touchdowns, and more. He had a lot of completions as well. They missed the playoffs ultimately, you know. But me personally, man, the Chicago Bears should have just never drafted him. If as soon as a player hints at not wanting to play for your team, you instantly should have pivoted off of him. Like, who won Rookie of the Year this year? Jaden Daniels. Now, you're telling me that Jaden Daniels can take the Washington Commanders to a conference championship game his first season in the league? Okay, I feel as though if the Chicago Bears were a smart team and they did what they were supposed to do, they would have took Jaden Daniels instead of taking Caleb Williams, because Jaden Daniels never said anything about not wanting to play for y'all. Caleb Williams did. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of people looked at Caleb Williams like the best quarterback in the draft last season, you know, deservedly so. But he wasn't the best quarterback. He wasn't the best rookie quarterback this year, last season. You know, that was Jaden Daniels. So you couldn't have went wrong either way. I just feel like teams need to stop trying to force players to play for their team, especially when they've already expressed that they don't want to. Okay, he definitely said he didn't want to play for y'all at one point. And his dad was even concerned about him playing for y'all at one point. So I definitely think that the Chicago Bears messed up, man. And, you know, they ended up firing Shane Waldron, and they brought in Ben Johnson to try to revitalize the offense, because the Chicago Bears are not known for offense. They've only been known for defense, you know. But I don't necessarily think that Ben Johnson's going to be able to fix everything in Chicago. I do believe that he's a great offensive mind. You know, we've seen what he did with Jared Goff and the Lions. So I could definitely see the Chicago Bears maybe sneaking into the playoffs this year, you know. But I think that's as far as it goes, man. Honestly, the future of Chicago, I don't necessarily think Caleb Williams will be a part of the future, for real. I could see Caleb Williams playing for another team as soon as his rookie contract runs out. I do not believe that he's gonna be in Chicago long term. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, and hopefully I am wrong. But from what I'm seeing, you know, from the reports that's coming out, I don't think that he's gonna be there very long. And, you know, the Chicago Bears don't necessarily have a history of winning. You know, so it ain't nothing to try to, you know, get up out of there whenever he's ready to, you know. But yeah, man, I think that's pretty much all I have for y'all, man. Moral of the story, man, for any team out there that's got the #1 pick, you know. And don't get me wrong, man, the Chicago Bears, they did the best they could to kind of like help Caleb Williams his rookie year. You know, they ended up getting Rome Odunze, they ended up getting DJ Moore. You know, they ended up doing a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? But the offensive line was still an issue. You know, I seen him getting sacked a lot, and he was under a lot of pressure, you know, but one step at a time, man. But the Chicago Bears are doing everything that they can to help Caleb Williams. But at the end of the day, man, it's up to him to, you know, put it all together. And like I said before, if he doesn't want to play for your team, you probably should just pivot off of him. As soon as he hints at not wanting to play for your team, bro, you should have just picked somebody else. I'm not telling you to pick Jaden Daniels, but, nigga, you could have picked somebody else. You could have picked Drake May. You could have picked anybody else. But you're picking a player that say he doesn't want to play for you, and you're expecting it to work out. Come on, Chicago. That's such a Chicago Bear thing to do, man. But y'all like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. I'm out, man. Peace.